Okay.
What? Oh, which one does it want you to reconnect? It doesn't like. No, that's. I think that says. Oh, you have to be logged in. You have to go to like. Are we live on anything else? I think we are.
We are live.
Yeah, you can't go live on yours though. Just hit remove or whatever.
We are live.
Yep.
All right then. No, we're live on yours, Everyday Moments, CSG, YouTube, Twitter.
Just about everything.
And we're live. What's up, guys?
Hello.
We're here. Who's with us?
We have a viewer. Welcome.
HVAC.
Oh, that's that's David Lavender.
What's up, David? All right, guys. So I know it's been a minute. I don't know if y'all saw the comments that I put in the comments, but we're here. We're still alive. Hi. Proof of life.
Yeah. I feel like I was thinking about this. So I've been having a lot of like car moments, car thoughts. I feel like that's all I've done.
Well, all we've done for a while is
drive. Yeah. And it's not like I'm going far. It's like the same town, the same circle, the same 100 miles. Like it's not going anywhere. It's just the same.
Circle.
Hey, Jen. Yeah. So it's just the same circle. But the car thought this morning, because I woke up and I told you this.
Yeah.
I told you this morning.
You can tell the world.
I told you, I was like, I woke up with like a side eye and a side of like, motherfucker, you like come at me. Like,
yeah, don't fuck with me today.
Not today. Like
today it's not the day to fuck with Jen. So if you want to fuck with Jen, go right ahead. But you're gonna get it. Somebody just got it. And rightfully so.
I was very calm. I was calm with him.
You were calm. I'm surprised you didn't motherfucker.
I did respectfully, like calmly, like.
I mean, like actually.
Oh yeah, no, like
formally, I guess.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
Yeah. With a side eye, a dash with it, like. So I was thinking.
You got to tell everybody about it because they don't understand what we're talking about.
Okay, so I'll get into that in a second. But this morning on my way home from dropping the last kid off at school, I was like, I feel like I've climbed to the top, like a rock star mom. Like I've climbed to the top of the tree, rock starring it. A breeze came in and just knocked me down and I hit every fucking limb. I just completely felt knocked off the top of where I was at. But nothing like happened. It's just been normal stuff. Like the kids have just been kids. Things have just been busy. Lack of sleep has been happening. Miles started his school, which is awesome for him. He's doing great. And
he is doing great.
It's just so, I mean, how many times? I feel like I come home like 3 times in order to get all the drop-offs done. I feel that's what I feel like by the time I go and I drop everybody off, because I got to go drop one off, come home, I get dressed.
Well, we drop 2 off.
Then I drop 2 off. Then I
kiss me, and then drop another 2 off.
Yeah. So
it sucks having one vehicle. So why do we have one vehicle, honey?
All right. So the big hailstorm came through the DFW area and damaged the Jeep. And so they had to remove the wrap and then go do the PDR on it and then put the wrap back on.
Let's explain who the insurance company is, why we're talking to the world.
We are talking to the world because Progressive dropped the ball on my claim. And at the very beginning, they reviewed my policy and they said my wrap was covered. Now the
Jeep's in pieces.
My Jeep is in pieces. I got pictures from the wrap company. It's laid out as it should. That part is not incorrect. When you wrap a Jeep comes apart. Doors come off, hood comes out, like the whole Jeep.
Off.
Even the hood, like they take everything apart.
Every part is off
to wrap the Jeep. That is not incorrect. That part is correct. Now, what they're saying now is they're like, they are owning the fact that what happened with my claim is completely screwed up. So we had a person who was handling the PDR stuff, and then we had, I guess, our contact person who was handling the claim. So we had two people that we were in communications with. Yeah. Oh, I got a new what? Oh, awesome, David. Fantastic. I can't wait to put that into motion. I handle all of Dave's social media. So Progressive was like, hey, these two people. Well, then we start calling because we're trying to get updates. And the lady's like, oh, by the way, I'm no longer here anymore. No voicemail. You get transferred to this like
random
box that you have to wait. Jason waited on hold to talk to somebody an hour and a half.
I've done this more than once.
And so he just gets in the car, like we're waiting on kids for pickup or whatever. And we just get, like, he's just on hold. And so then they finally like escalated the claim, whatever. And we've got.
I hope Progressive is watching.
Yeah, I hope Progressive is watching too. So then this other person that we've been texting, supposedly they're not with the company anymore. And so every time Jason calls and he's like, hey, I need to talk to somebody. I need to talk to somebody. They're like, oh, well, I can see the notes. You called in, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I can see that every single time. It's like, I can see the notes. I'm like, fucking fantastic. Can you put it in front of somebody who can read? Can you put it in front of somebody who can read the notes on my claim? It'd be great.
But to that, so every time I'll give them a little bit of props in one area, because the last time I actually spoke to the guy on the inside of the company, not an adjuster on the outside, like a field adjuster. On the inside, the guy put me with someone that I could actually talk to. That guy did a great job of his actual role, right? So, and he did a good job by explaining everything to the next person of what we've been through. It's just that this person couldn't get done what needs to be done because they fucked up. And I think, being the fact that you just talked to him the way that you delivered that and getting to the next person, honestly, will get us to where we should be at. I didn't have that in me today. I'm glad you did.
To be spicy.
Yeah, I've been through enough this morning.
Yeah, so I was super spicy with the guy. Like, I didn't cuss him out. Okay, so I did use one bad word. I used one bad word, but it wasn't like at him. It was just about the situation. And he was like, I know, I'm so sorry. And he's
I like the combo effect that you put in there of, yeah, you don't have to go home with this shit.
Oh yeah. He was like, I know, I'm so sorry. I was like, I know you are, but it's really easy for you to sit behind a phone call or a phone and say that, because guess what? You don't have a vehicle that you can't afford to go pick up, that like you're like, oh, it's only $4,500 to pay off the after we got, I can't read the comment all the way, but yeah.
Still dealing with her truck after we got it back. Quality of work sucked. And they didn't replace the windshield. No, we're supposed to get a windshield too.
We are supposed to get a windshield.
We're supposed to get a windshield. We're supposed to get the whole wrap done. We're supposed to get all the windows tinted. And I think the company that's doing everything is doing a good job of what they're doing. It's not the company that's doing the work. It's actually the insurance company
that's not wanting to pay,
dropping the ball.
And they're like, in the beginning,
and the PDR work wasn't even that expensive. I mean,
no.
He's
and
like, I want to cover your deductible.
Oh, I'll cover your deductible.
Okay, well, our deductible is the price of the PDR work. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, $500.
Yeah.
Great.
And I was like, oh, okay, of course you're going to choose that. That's the cheapest way out for your company. Why would you not? Why would that make any sense to you? Of course my deductible is that. I pay a shit ton for insurance because I don't want to get held responsible for having an X amount of dollars in my bank account. Yes, I pay the highest amount of insurance, so my deductible is the lowest, so that when shit like this happens, I'm not fucked over. But guess who's still getting fucked over even though I'm paying skyrocket insurance? I am. Because you told me originally, no problem, wrap's going to be fine. It's easy to say that when you know that you've got 2 foot out the door and you're leaving, and like the person who left, I'm sure didn't give a shit when they talked to me about my claim because they knew that they had another job lined up. Like, I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I know how I feel. And the guy was on the phone, was like, I know, I'm so sorry. Like, and ultimately the very last description I gave him was like, oh, okay, cool. Fantastic. What are you going to do about the shit platter you just served up? I'm supposed to like, just what? Continue to make a car payment on a car that I can't afford to go pick up because the wrap's finished? That sounds awesome. I can't remember the two options, shit platters that I chose him to. And he was like, I'm not even gonna I can't go there. I said, of course you can't go there. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect you at all. So who's your supervisor? Like he's like, I know there's not anything I can say to make that better. I was like, you're right, you can't, because guess what? You get to still go home. You get to still make your car payment. You get to still have an ease of life after delivering a shit platter to somebody, and you have no resolution or solution for me at all. Period. You just want me to accept what it is that you just told me that I owe $4,500 for a wrap that you told me was covered. Like I unleashed on him in that exact tone,
And you should have.
and I'm still very much angry. Yeah. I hope they get it done. I mean, I know the
They'll get
wrap's
it done.
gonna get done. That's not the problem. It's the
Well,
cost
that's kind of an
the
issue because the color of it is hard to get,
yeah,
which
it
is why it's taking so long.
but we just now initiated the rental for my for the claim. So because we've been just sharing one car, but then we've got this weekend, we've got a busy weekend, multiple kids, different places. So it's like we needed two cars, which is why we have two cars. We pay for
Yes.
two cars.
Yeah, that's the other part, is making a payment on something that's got to sit somewhere, and he doesn't give a shit about that either.
Mm-mm.
Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Well, they're going to give a shit now because we're going to blast them right here on social media. How about that, Progressive?
Yeah.
Who has Progressive insurance?
Who's not going to continue to have Progressive insurance? I'll be going back to USAA now that all that shit's done.
Or AAA. I like AAA.
AAA is not bad. USAA has been really good with me too in the past.
Members for life.
Yeah. I'll go back to USAA for sure.
What do you like about that company specifically?
Just how they handle stuff.
There's no bullshit.
Well, yeah. So like back when USAA, and so being loud about an insurance company, this is not my first time. So USAA, we lived here actually not far from the house that we're in now, and we had an ATV stolen from the driveway. And it was hooked up to my expedition that I was driving at the time. It was on a trailer, and my drive shaft of my car was cut, and it was shoved across the street, and they hooked up to the trailer, and they hauled off with the ATV. Well, the ATV was still being made payments on.
Yeah.
So it's financed. Don't finance your toys.
No, pay for them.
Pay for them, yeah. So
and insure them.
Yeah. And so that was the issue, was that the ATV that was stolen, one was still being made payments on, two, he wasn't intelligent enough to get insurance or didn't want to add that the cost of it, right? He was like, oh, was
Not
it?
me.
He was like, it was on the driveway, it was on the property.
Well, it's not me.
No, it's not you. So
Disclosure.
Sorry. So ultimately, USAA was like, no, we're not going to cover it. And I'm like, the fuck you are. It was attached to my vehicle and it was parked in my driveway. Like, you're going to pay for it.
Well,
and
then the homeowner's insurance should cover it too.
Well, and they tried to say, they were like, well, you don't use it for your property. I was like, yes, we poured, a matter of fact, we put in a fence and we poured patio with that son
And
of a
probably
gun.
got pictures.
I sure as shit did. And I submitted those, and I was like, you guys, when you denied my claim the first time, never asked me if we use the ATV to maintain our property. And guess what? We did. We do. And I've got images of it that are dated. So, and then they were like, no, we're still not going to cover it. And I was like, okay.
Always take pictures of everything.
I was like, okay, cool. So I took to social media and I blasted USAA's site and made comments every post that they had. I made a comment with pictures, dollar amounts, claims. I lit their Facebook up. One of the higher ups finally reached out to me and was essentially like, what do we have to do to make you shut the fuck up? And I was like, pay my claim, pay off the ATV, like you should, because it was attached to my vehicle. Could I see if I had parked the ATV in the driveway with the keys in it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it was attached to my vehicle. At that time, USAA had our homeowners insurance, had both of our vehicles. They had everything for us, including life insurance, and USAA was I had policy on my camera gear. Like, they held everything for us at that point in time. And I was like, this is bullshit. Like, you should not be treating your military veterans this way. We hold way too many policies with you. And I lit them up. So eventually one of the higher ups reached out to me. They were like, we're going to re-review this for you. I was like, of course you are. They like re-listened back to everything. They took my entire story, my entire statement again, and they came back and they're like, yeah, so we're gonna actually pay off the ATV and give you a check. And so we got to replace the ATV and paid off the old one.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's not my first time being loud about insurance because insurance is not about doing the right thing the first time.
Well, how much money do they make? I mean,
Right.
honestly, you're paying and paying and paying. Everybody's paying in to this hole that just collects money.
Yeah. Just
And
in
then
case.
whenever you need to use it, they
Yeah.
want to be ass clowns. Fuck that.
hmm
I mean, you've paid so much into it. Oh, I'm only going to cover $500. Dude, fuck you.
Congratulations. What I mean, I know.
Where's all my money at that I give you every month?
I mean, I know we pay what $350 a month just in car insurance.
Just in insurance. Yeah.
Yeah, just car insurance.
Add it up.
I know.
Cover the fucking rap.
Yep. But that's okay. I have no problem putting Progressive on blast. I did it to did it to USA in the past. Now, because they did the. Here's the thing: is it's like I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for everybody else that you fuck over and don't want to cover. Like, it wasn't that I was being like, and to that, it's like frustrating, and it's like people should not steal your shit. Like, stop stealing stuff.
Yeah.
No,
That's a whole
but there
nother
was a lot of construction going on in our neighborhood at the time. Anyways, for that particular instance, we know that it ended up in Grand Prairie because they ran the tags on the plate before everything was reported stolen, and then the plates were ran in Grand Prairie. So I'm pretty sure that ATV ended up being like a drug runner on the border because it was a nice ATV. Yeah.
Nice.
Fun story. So I'll be loud about Progressive as well.
Strap on the cocaine now.
Oh, whatever.
Run it across.
Whatever.
Woo. Anyhow, yeah, Progressive, you suck.
So that's what we're dealing with.
Make it right.
Yeah. And they will. They will, or I'll be loud.
Rawr.
Yeah.
Little rant.
So they had 2 people drop off our claim, and now they want to just be like, oh, sorry. I mean, and then he told me, he was like, oh, but you can go pick it up. If it's not done, then you can just go pick it up. And I was like, oh, that was it. That was the 2 options. I was like, okay, let him finish the wrap and then not be able to pay for it, or go pick up my Jeep in pieces.
I don't know how the fuck we're going to do that.
And how the fuck are we going to do that? I said, when you
put it on a tow truck.
I was like, oh, fantastic.
Have it delivered in pieces.
I was like, fantastic. A second shit platter for me to choose from. Pick one. He was like, oh,
I'm actually going to send him all the pictures of it right now.
I'm not even, he was like, I'm not even going to do that. Yeah.
I'm going to send him all the fucking, I want to make his day.
We are not going to go to Profit Rocket. We talked about it. We had tickets. We still have tickets to go. It's hard for us to see value, what we're going to implementable value out of the Profit Rocket, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. Here goes. Everybody's dropping out, and the place is not going to be full of people. And I'm just not interested in wasting my time in something that I can't take something away from.
Yeah.
I have too much stuff going on to pour time into something that I'm not going to get anything out of. So like as a business coach myself, I've got to take something away from these events. I've got to have knowledgeable advice to take from these events, not training, not sales training. And that's the other thing is, if you're doing coaching, you should be coaching the higher ups to do the steps of sales training and management to pass down to the sales guys. You shouldn't have to go coach their sales guys. Honestly, it should be done internally. You should be coaching from the top down, from the very top, where it starts with the owner. And if the owner doesn't believe in all of the stuff that they should be believing in their business, then it's not going to get passed to management. Management's not going to pass it to sales, which is why people hire sales coaches, is because up here doesn't care about down here. All they care about is this. And if all you care about is this, and you're not caring about your employees and pouring your employees into things, then yeah. So I coach from the top. I coach the owners and management, and stop. And that's it. I'm not going to do sales coaching. I'm just not.
There's a lot of people there's a lot of people that do sales coaching. And they're great at it. And I think that there's a place where it's like, hey, the way that I'm trying to teach my guys, I'm not good at, and I need to bring somebody in who,
I agree.
Teaching is a skill set. Not everyone can be a teacher. And that goes, I mean, just like our kids don't click with certain teachers, that's
Yeah.
going to also go for technicians. Certain technicians are going to take from sales coaches differently. And I think that that's
I'm not knocking on
fine.
Profit Rocket. I'm just
No,
saying,
I know you're
from my
not.
perspective, I don't have time to pour into something that I can't take something out of right now.
Yeah. I was concerned
So
about walking I know that there's going to be really awesome information and really awesome knowledge that's given at this event. My concern was the dollar value of going, and then what actual items matched that dollar value that we were going to bring home that were actionable. So
yeah.
it's kind
So
of where
we've
we
been
are
to a
with
lot
it
of events this year,
already.
actually,
Yeah.
and since we've been to a lot of events, I think that's our mindset now, is because we're kind of evented out. I think,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing that we went to the things that we've gone to. But I think what's coming that you guys don't know about, that is really cool, is going to be so much
It's
more
going to set the bar.
than anybody's expecting. And woo, I'm gonna tell you, watch out,
Yeah. That'll all
because it is fire.
Yeah, that'll hopefully we'll be able to have something to talk about and launch the
Maybe in
second
a
or
couple
third week of
weeks.
October. Yeah, it's coming.
Maybe in a couple weeks. So keep your eyes out for that for damn sure. If you would like business coaching from the top down, let me know. All you got to do is
Hustle, baby, hustle.
yeah, reach out to me directly.
Facebook message is probably the easiest.
DM. My website has a spot where you can book on my calendar at www.csg-usa.com, and you can book there or wherever.
Yep.
Whatever you need to do to get on board and change your mindset,
Yeah.
and let it flow through your
And social
your
media
business.
management, if you guys are looking for social media management, if you're looking for somebody to help you tell the story of your brand, I'm your girl.
Yes.
Woman, lady, whatever.
She's a woman, not a girl.
I kind of feel bad for chewing that guy out, but I also kind of don't feel
You
bad.
shouldn't. It's your Jeep, and it's our livelihood, and it's taking time away from what we could be more productive doing, because
I
we've been
just
without
wish,
a damn vehicle
I
for so
just
long.
feel like bait and switch so much. Like, you weren't honest. They weren't honest, and nobody
It
communicated.
just got passed around like
Yeah.
a freaking
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now my Jeep is in pieces. And I have
Oh
two
yeah, I meant to
options.
send those.
I have two
downloaded.
options. I can go pick it up in pieces, or I can wait for them to be finished. And then what? Yeah. Could I pay it? Yes. Should I? No. Yeah, no mirrors, no door handles, no hood, no roof.
Yeah,
No,
the hood's off,
nothing.
the roof's off, the interior's taken apart so that the
They
frame can get wrapped,
yeah.
because it's a Jeep. You wrap the Jeep, you wrap the whole damn Jeep. You don't leave any white spots or whatever the color of the Jeep is.
Yeah.
You wrap the whole thing, because in the summertime, the top and the doors come off.
Yeah, or fall or spring. Typically not in the summer. Too
You're right.
hot.
Yeah, you're right.
Just
Unless you're at the beach.
unless you, as I was gonna say, unless you're at the beach.
In which case, you take your top off.
Take a top off.
Mm-hmm. So we have 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, please comment on what you have been
Will you
missing.
scroll and see if there's any more comments past that one about Profit Rocket?
If you guys have been missing out on anything, let us know. If there's something.
We've got 2 podcast episodes. So Jason and I were talking about we were trying to drop a podcast every week, or excuse me, every day, and I just don't feel like I can continue at that pace. So I want to kind of drop. I was thinking about an alternative, which is like 1 podcast a week recorded. Was what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the normal pace of other people as well, especially since they're such long form content pieces. that we are producing. But we've got 2 things we have got to, and I think the next 2 podcasts are gonna be shorter. One is a text message, and then one is something that I'm waiting to hit record on before I actually bring it up. So,
Yeah,
mhm. So I've got 2 things preloaded already.
that's awesome.
Mhm. So at least 2.
I'm ready to drop all of the stuff that we're fixing to drop. Um, I just want to do it at the right time. I don't want to do it too soon,
Right.
and I don't want to even talk about it yet
Yeah.
because you build it and then you reveal it,
Mhm.
and people will know when it's out because
Yeah.
it'll be bright.
It is bright.
Yeah,
I'm just exhausted. I feel like I've been building and building and building and building, and it's just
that's how it works.
not there.
It will. It'll show up. It will show up.
Like I said,
You got.
yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta just build, 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 and then release.
Yeah. Well, like I wrote that blog post last night about how I just felt like,
It was really good. You
mm,
guys should go check it out.
thank you. Yeah, so if you go to thejenniferclements.com, there's a blog that drops once a week, uh, which doesn't have any correlation to any of the topics typically in regards to the podcast. These are just my thoughts that I have randomly. And then I
You have
expand
random
on
thoughts?
yeah, and then I expand on them. But
It's crazy.
I took this random thought. So I got a text message or a Facebook message from a friend of mine, and she was like, "Hey, love you, just checking in. Can I get proof of life?" And I'm like, "Sure, cool, no problem." But then in my head, I'm like, exhausted, introverting because I am exhausted, which means I don't reach out, which means I don't post on social media. I'm not doing shorts. Like I'm introverting inward when I reach this level of exhaustion because I know I have to replenish who I am, where I am, and what's going on. So in my head, I was like, thank you so much for noticing that like I'm introverting and like retreating inwards and reaching out and being like, hey, I love you. Uh, but also at the same time, like I didn't respond to her. I responded in my head of like, hey, thanks, love you too. And then her next question was going to be, how are you? And then in my head, I answered, I feel like all of the wind has been sucked from my sails. Like I just I feel empty. And then that's what spiraled off into the blog post of like, okay, well, if I feel empty and there's no wind right now, I've got my boat, right? I've got the vessel, which being business, right? We've got a business. We've got 2 businesses, 3 businesses, but we need the wind. The wind being customers, clients, work, jobs, whatever. It's like we've put in all of these things, but sometimes you don't have any choice but to sit back and wait on the wind. You can do so much and still there be no wind. And so that's what I felt like. And so then I took those references to my Bible and I started looking up scripture. And I was reminded of two different Bible verses. And I reached out to one of my really good friends. And I was like, hey, I said, this is the Bible verse I'm thinking of. Can you help me find it? And he helped me find it, of course. And I referenced one of the Bible verses in my blog. And it talks about prepping, and before you jump off into something, do you know your material cost? Essentially, do you know the cost of which it's going to take for you to be ready to build something? And it was the same thing. It's like, okay, well, I can sit here, I can huff, I can puff, I can spin in circles, I can try to generate my own wind, but ultimately that's temporary and you burn yourself out. Instead, you can take your time and you can prepare. What can I learn while I'm waiting on the wind? I can learn how to run my Google My Business. I can learn how to do what's going on in social. Like, and while I'm waiting, what can you do with the wait? And what can I do to grow myself while I'm waiting on the wind?
Yeah.
And that's what the blog post was about. And it was basically like, and then I referenced the one about the orchard. Remember, we went to church. Pastor Troy talked
Mhm.
about the seed and how, like, the seed's not responsible for the fruit that it bears, just like that boat is not responsible
For the
for
wind.
reaching its destination. The wind is. So the seed is not responsible for the fruit that it bears, it's the soil. And how much preparation you put into that soil determines how much fruit that seed's going to bear. So we've got to prep the soil first while we wait. So you can have silos full of seeds, but what's the soil look like?
Yeah. So that should go for all parts of your life,
Mm-hmm.
not just business. Like that should be your relationships, literally every aspect of your life. You can't plant a seed in shitty soil.
You can't. I mean, think about it. Like seeds
I
get
mean, you
planted in
can.
graveled walkways. They get planted in sidewalks. Seeds get planted and dropped everywhere. Do
You
they
can plant
grow?
them there.
Do they grow? Absolutely. Are they going to bear the best fruit? No,
No.
they're not. And so that's ultimately the word that washed over me from a Facebook message, and all of that happened. That whole thought process and blog I wrote in my head in under 7 minutes.
Yeah. And so whenever Pastor Troy actually said that, it resonated with both of us
It did.
in a very strong, different way than what you just explained.
Yes.
Because of our backgrounds and our previous relationships.
Correct.
And so we felt like he was really just talking to us,
Mm-hmm.
like almost directly to us, because we finally planted the seed of us
Into each other.
into the right soil.
Yeah. So it was like the way that I explained it, because I did make a TikTok video or Instagram video, something, a clip, short reel, whatever you want to call it. I did make it to where it was like, I went to church and it hit different. And it was that he was like, hey, you know, you can take that seed planted anywhere. But ultimately, I was continuously to plant my seed of love into someone that was never, ever, ever going to bear the fruit that I needed it to. So I was continuously trying to be like, okay, it's planted, grow. Okay, it's planted, grow.
Right.
Like, and that's the definition of insanity, right? You continue to do something over and over again and you expect a different result. Because it was the same exact, all the conditions were the same, nothing was changing. And so it was like, it wasn't that my seed of love was bad. It was where I was planting it was bad. The soil was not rich enough and not ready to receive what it is that I was giving. And that's how I received that message that day, which was phenomenal. And that's continued to replay for me. But it also, to me, is also like for work in that aspect that I. So,
Yeah.
not to go all biblical on y'all or whatever. It's just that's how.
No, it was a
how my
great
brain works.
message.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got a blog that drops. Not every one of them is biblical by any means. I mean, I've done them on my grandfather. I've done them on our kids. I've done them about business situations, relationships. There's a bunch of them in there. They're all. I think right now I'm scheduled out on one to drop because I write often. I think they're scheduled to drop all the way through October into November. So new one every week. You can subscribe and it'll just get emailed to you if you want. You don't have to go look for it.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually subscribe to your blog?
Yeah.
Just the blog itself?
Just the blog itself.
Perfect. How do you do that?
You can go to my website, thejenniferclements.com.
And just click subscribe?
Yeah. Put in your email and subscribe and it'll email you the blog every week.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I get it texted to me as soon as it happens. So I'm special.
You are special. Yeah. And I attach a picture about, whatever is going on. And a lot of it too is just healing aspect. Like some of the things are, looking back and it's like everybody always talks about like you should be like just realize that where you are today, you prayed to be for. Like you prayed for whatever it is that you got wherever you are. Granted, I know there's stipulations to that situation. There's shitty things that happen uncontrollably, but a majority of us have prayed to be where we are today and to just be like, turn around and look back for gratefulness every once in a while. And
don't turn around too much.
No, I said every once in a while.
Yeah.
But
and I just said not too much.
For appreciation purposes, it's okay.
Yeah, look at where you could be and then look where you're going.
Yeah.
But always look where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Always look where you're going. Always look ahead. It's okay to look backwards every once in a while, but look ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going forward. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
And that's all I have for right now because we have to go pick up our children.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to get back on tonight. So if you guys will put comments in any of these chats,
Yeah.
that we're on right
Or comment, like, yeah, because the videos will stay
So-
up. So drop your comments because we'll get notifications when you guys do that so that we can address any questions or concerns or comments or thoughts
And
or anything.
tonight's version is not going to be as long as normal, maybe an hour. It'll be short and sweet.
Are we doing live again?
Sure,
Oh,
don't
okay.
care. I know you guys have been looking for us because I see you guys finding us in different places, Facebook, Twitter, and
Yeah,
Instagram, and
Instagram,
looking. I
all that
see you
stuff.
guys searching for us to try to find us and make sure that we're doing something. And we've just been extremely busy, so I really apologize that we haven't really been doing what we were doing, but we caught on to something finally,
Yeah.
and we're doing that.
We're trying to do it all.
And we'll be doing this as well. So I want this is important to me, and it's important to her as well that
It is.
we stay, kind of with you guys along the way because we're
Yeah.
here with you and we
Yeah.
want to resonate with where you're at. So
Right.
drop a comment. And thank you for watching, and we'll be back later on tonight.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Click the end button before you fade me out.